Hi to everyone. Here, Enrico Benzoni, and I am the Marketing and Technical Alliances Manager at Sumo. With me, there's Andrea Fumagalli, Senior Director, Orchestration and Automation.
Hi, guys. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Hi, Andrea. So today we will discuss about Cloud SOAR, giving you an overview of security orchestration, automation, and response. So today, we do not talk about prevention or other cybersecurity activities. Today, we talk about incident and response. So thanks to the SOAR, you can improve your incident and response plan, and you can save a lot of time boosting automation for your processes. All your cyber team will have under control all processes for every type of attack that you would like to improve in your posture. So let me introduce the SOAR that starts where the CM ends, basically ingest alerts, or in case of the cloud scene, ingest the insight, and make the first triage in order to analyze the type of threat and suggest the right processes to activate it to your cyber team. And then you can boost the automation for enrichment and investigation and stop the process for taking insightful decisions. In the case manager, you will have all the information your analyst needs to take decisions, and thanks to the war room, you can have a look on the timeline and what happened on and every IOC is involved, and every action you perform. You can easily create reports. You can easily have a KPI dashboard to have a look. So you have under control of your processes. And SOAR is not a plug-and-play solution. The power of the SOAR is the flexibility, because cybersecurity serves the business, and every business is different from each other. And you have to have a tool to based on your processes, based on your technologies, based on your team. So the flexibility is a key point. Andrea will show you the platform, but let me introduce which are the challenges that we saw. So thanks to the SOAR, Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response platform, you can minimize the response time. You can reduce the analyst fatigue. So you can improve the standard operating procedures. And this allow you to improve the efficiency and consistency of the overall cybersecurity. Today is a key point for every business. And thanks to the SOAR, you have the government over each process involved in your company, and you can protect them. This is just an example of integration we have, and that you can use inside your processes. So you can use threat intelligence for enrichment. You can use containment actions from firewall or others, or you can create also non-cyber use cases for industrial security, for IT, for everything you want. So the power is the flexibility, okay? So this is just an example. So this is a standard operating procedures, and related to the phishing, for example. When you receive an alert that could be a phishing, you have to enrich the alert, and you have to analyze the IP geolocalization of phishing domain. You have to take the phishing domain screenshot. Your analyst has to make a lot of work in order to understand if it is a real threat or not. And the SOAR can make this in automatic, and can analyze the data collected and decide which direction the process has to go. So in this case, you can see that is malicious, and the playbook go up and continue other enrichment, arrive to another node, make an analysis, send another notification, and arrive at this box that is very important, that is the analyst choice. Here, as I said you before, the playbook stop, and this question appear on the SecOps dashboard. So based on this process, just this question has to be analyzed from the analyst. So you know that your analyst will save a lot of time, because just to analyze threats and every information collected in automatic. In this case, the analyst decide to block the domain with a Cisco umbrella, and the SOAR automatically orchestrate the syscombrel action to block the domain. And at the end, you can add, and we suggest to add an automatically assigned task to review the incident and close it. So this is at the end of the process, you can check it and go ahead. And this allows you to have under control everything. This for just for minutes, you can analyze a track all in automatic. Now I leave to Andrea, and please, Andrea, share your screen, because we will talk about the open integration framework that allow you to build your integration and boost the automation. Then we will see the incident management capabilities, playbooks, and case management, the SecOps dashboard, the triage machine learning and supervised active intelligence that helps the analyst, and finally the highly customizable dashboard and KPIs and incident reports that improve the collaboration. Please, Andrea. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Enrico. So let's jump immediately into our tool and let's see how it looks like. So the OIF, what is the OIF? OIF is this section where we have all the different, let's say, connectors with the external technologies. For example, with our CM, Sumo Logic CSE, we have different type of actions, typically daemons for ingesting the different alerts. We have enrichment actions for querying the different entities, different insights, and different type of indicators. For every action in the OIF, we have the source code in clear text. And as you can see here, it's possible to select different languages. We personally prefer Python for performance reasons and for the way it's easy to find resources scaled with it. The source code is always in clear text. Other options of languages are available, as you can see here. And then once you have, let's say, reviewed the action or decided to change it, changes can be applied from inside here. We have incorporated an IDE, so we can modify the actions exactly on the fly. We can then save the action, and from within the same environment, we can test the new action. We can just invoke the action this way, provide the parameters, for example, the query in this case, and test it. So it's the development and refinement of the action, it's all done from inside. This helps to reduce the development time. It helps to collaborate maybe with other colleagues on working and refining the existing actions. And of course, it gives the flexibility to know exactly what has been implemented and how it has been implemented. The second pillar is related, that was introduced by Enrico, is related to the capabilities for case management and incident management. This is mostly, let's say, implemented with the concept of playbooks. So let's again connect to the system here. Let's see what is a playbook. The playbook represents a workflow for describing a specific standard operating procedure for resolving a specific incident. This is the section where we can define the playbooks. Every playbook can be, let's say, edited or defined, created from inside the same tool. It's all graphical with this graphical wizard. You can edit an existing box. You can modify, create, or add a new one. You can rearrange the connections. When you create a new box, you can select what's the type of action that you want to invoke. And here you see the different types. And depending on the type, you have the corresponding actions that are available. These actions are provided by the connectors that we have activated in the backend. In terms of input parameters, the input of an action can be a fixed value inserted by the customer manually during the setup of the action, can be one of the incident fields or incident variables, as in this case, or can be the output of any of the already executed, previously executed actions, like you can see here. These are all the fields that have been extracted by that specific action name get insight details, and they can be set as to be used as input for this new action. A task represents a manual activity, so we can decide to create a new box representing a task, exactly as Enrico showed previously in the sample playbook that he displayed a few minutes ago. And then, of course, we can decide to include also operators like conditions, filters, or user choices. Condition is the typical if then else. It's a logical gate. The user choice is the option to post a question to the user and look for its answers. Answers can be provided with different ways, either from this screenshot or from, from this section or from the email. And finally, filter is to extract a subset of indicators. And playbook is to invoke a child playbook that is selected here. So the parent playbook will pause when reaching this point, and then the child playbook will be invoked. Of course, here we can rearrange the connections. We can cut this connection, recreate this one, and have this child playbook incorporated as part of this existing playbook. Okay, the benefit and the beauty of these playbooks is that this represents the flow that will be implemented, for example, inside an incident. When an incident is created like this one, we have the playbook. The playbook can create nodes automatically to track results. The same playbook can create tasks to invoke activities and assign activities to the different users. And while the playbook is running, different IOCs are automatically harvested. All these details are usually the info that customers want to store and manage for documenting the case. And they're all extracted automatically. They are classified here for each one, of course. You have specific details. You can see the characteristics, what are the incidents where this IOC was involved. And if this IOC was used as input for some actions, you can see here the results. And anytime you can review these results, you can navigate. They're displayed in the form of a JSON. So you can navigate through the different fields. And of course, you can reach your conclusion based on what you see here. The results displayed depend on the technology that is being used for launching this action. Here you see the details when the action has been submitted, what are the parameters. And the last section, which is fundamental for the case management, is the documentation. We have either a section for storing attachments, we have the section for generating a report, a final report, and we have the activity log, which is where we document what are the different events that happen in the history of the incident with the date and time, let's say the timestamp, and all the characteristics, who did this activity, which is the type, and the description of the activity itself. So all in all, while the analysts or the investigators are working on a case or resolving an incident, automatically our system is documenting those events, tracking all the IOCs that are involved, and storing the results of all the different actions that are invoked as part of the playbook. Now let's move on to the SecOps dashboard and let's try to understand what is this portion. So again, if we move back to a standard playbook, you see that some actions are blinking here. This is an example of manually executed actions, and they will appear in this section named SecOps dashboard. The SecOps dashboard is where every analyst has, let's say, a summary of all the pending activities that he has in charge, either questions like this one, which is a user choice. You can recognize the color, the dark red color, or maybe other type of actions like the manually executed actions. They are the ones that you see here on the side and that need to be executed, let's say, manually. They can be edited before being submitted. They can be skipped or they can be executed. Now, user choice can also be answered from here. And of course, based on the answer that has been provided, the next flow will proceed. Here, you have seen an example of submitting the request. So the next task has appeared here because, of course, it's part of the branch that has been selected. Here we have the description of the task. We know its characteristics, what is the end time, what is the priority, what is the progress, which is highlighted here by this percentage. And here you see who created the task, who is the current owner of the task. Here I have the option for approving, closing, or declining. And based on what I have provided there as an action, the task will be marked correspondingly. Same actions are available here inside the task section. So either from that screen or from this one, we can document what is the progress, and this will be reflected here in the SecOps dashboard. As you can see, now it's 30%. And then once the task is done, of course, the analyst can proceed and declare, hey, this is done, we can close it, and it will remain tracked and documented forever. Something similar applies to the manually executed action, of course, with different actions, as you can see, edit, run, and skip, but the overall concept is exactly the same. Let's go back to the presentation, and now let's introduce the concept of the triage. So triage, machine learning, and supervised intelligence. So triage is a specific section that we have inside the system for, let's say, performing an automated initial enrichment on that specific event without assuming that can be converted immediately into an incident. It is relevant every time that we have, let's say, a high ratio between false positive and real incidents, and it's used to eliminate as much as possible false positives. So the concept is we receive an event, an alarm, what we call an event, we store it in the triage section, we launch automatically enrichment, and based on the results of the enrichment, either manually or automatically, we decide if it's a confirmed incident, a true positive, or if it is just a false positive and we don't create the incident itself. We don't increase the metrics, we don't generate or propagate noise, and we help the analysts to remain focused on the real threats. This is the first objective of the supervised active intelligence. Second objective is that we incorporate a machine learning engine, and this is used for proposing similar playbooks that might be relevant when working inside an ongoing incident. The machine learning is proposing playbooks that have been used efficiently in past similar incidents. So in a way, we are proposing, let's say the machine learning is proposing the analyst with the most appropriate answer, the most appropriate workflow for mitigating and resolving the current incident based on similar incidents that have been already resolved in the past. Those two items are the concept that we usually present as supervised active intelligence, where the final decision is up to the analyst, but can be also, let's say, supported by the suggestions provided by the machine. Now, let's focus on the fifth pillar, which is the highly customizable dashboard and KPIs. Now, the dashboard is all graphical. Here you can see how it looks like. We can configure a series of metrics. You can see here that we have an option for customizing. Here you can decide what is the time frame of the metric. If you want to observe the last quarter, the last week, last year, and so on. You can decide what's the entity you want to monitor. Here you see an example of the incident overview. So we can monitor the incidents, we can monitor the tasks, we can monitor the assets involved in the incident, and so on. And we can select what are the fields that we want to display. Together with the fields, of course, we have also hyperlinks. You see here on the left-hand side, the blue ID of the incident. These are hyperlinks. So if you just click, it will take you inside and have additional details on the incidents. In the dashboard, we can configure different type of metrics. For example, pie chart, line chart, tables, summaries, and so on. For all of them, it's possible to configure the drill down. So for these different sectors of this diagram, you can simply click and deep dive inside the set of items which satisfies that specific criteria. And therefore, with just a few clicks, you can immediately get current with the overall details of the incident. The last pillar is represented by the incident reports. Now, the incident reports is a very important feature. Most of our customers are always interested in being able, of course, to document an incident, which is the basic case management capabilities, to resolve the incident timely and efficiently, which is implemented through the appropriate playbooks, extending the different integrations, actions, and so on, the overall capabilities that are usually identified as orchestration capabilities. But at the end of the day, all of them want to have a clear reporting. Might be composed by appropriate dashboards, as I just showed you. They might be composed by relevant KPIs that can be configured and exported from our platform. But reports itself, it's an important topic. So in Cloud SOAR, we decided to implement specific, let's say, features with our reports. So first of all, it's pretty simple and immediate to generate a report. Once the incident is being worked there, automatically some info are pre-processed to be exported into the report. So just clicking one specific option, you can get the report generated. These reports contain all the details of the incident, the IOCs that have been involved, the timeline events, the team who is working on the incident, the alert that initiated the incident, and all the different conclusions and results of the intermediate actions executed into the playbooks. So the objective is to generate reports that can easily contain all the relevant info. The content of these reports, the graphics, the layout, and the, let's say, logo, font, colors, and so on, all these details are customizable. And the way you can customize it is, again, through the interface with a graphical wizard with very easy and immediate actions, just a few clicks. With all these three plus in mind, our objective is to improve the communication, either internally and externally to the SOC. So having these reports extremely customizable with all the different info represents a plus for all the SOC managers when they have to answer questions from the C-levels, from the governance, or from any other external department. So the way we implemented the report is usually considered a big plus by most of our customers. Now, Cloud SOAR can be provided also in multi-tenancy environment. This is very, let's say, interesting and important for all the MSSP. All our MSSP customers want to have the multi-tenancy environment, which is exactly as any other Cloud SOAR instance. But on top of that, we have a management console. So in the multi-tenancy architecture, we have as many different tenants as the number of customers, plus a management console that is used for aggregating the data, building consolidated graphs, consolidated dashboards, and keeping an eye in terms of visibility on what's happening into the different tenants. Every tenant is a separate system. So this guarantees about the physical data segregation, which is the point number 4 in this slide. Every customer can connect only into its own tenant, while the MSSP provider has full visibility into the master, and from the master can take over and connect into the separate tenants. From the master console, we can propagate standards, for example, workflows that have been defined as official workflows for resolving some type of incidents, or maybe the definition of the incidents. The different properties of the incidents can be refined, can be extended, we typically call them custom fields. Once they are finalized into the master, they can be pushed to the tenants. So all tenants will incorporate the same set of fields. That's why it will be possible to have aggregated reporting. Last but not least, of course, we can guarantee, considering that it's a cloud architecture, we guarantee horizontal and vertical scalability, of course, to perform better performances and guarantee a high level of service. And finally, in the multi-tenancy, we can implement also the disaster recovery feature and guarantee high availability of the cluster. Enrico, I think I'm done with this quick intro. Do you want to wrap up this session? Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrea. Hope that you appreciated the Andrea presentation and the SOAR capabilities. So we have seen the open integration framework that allow you to have the integration you need for your standard operating procedures. Then we have seen that you can build them thanks to the playbooks. So you can collect that information in the case manager and use the incident management capabilities. Your analyst will work in the SecOps dashboard. So before you create the process, then you use the automation for the enrichment, the full automation. Then you can put the containment action after other decisions, and everything will be under control, and your analyst will save a lot of time. And in addition, they receive a lot of suggestion and helps from the SOAR thanks to the supervised active intelligence. And you can leverage the internal communication thanks to the KPIs dashboard. You can build to talk to the management and the incident reports to analyzing deep what happened. So this is just a quick overview about Cloud SOAR. We have a lot of materials to share with you. We will be happy to create a very dedicated demo for you if you want, because we can also generate for you an ROI based on your existing processes. We can discuss which are the next step of an implementation. So where to start, where to which should be the goal of the SOAR in the short time and in long terms. So we are here for you in order to help you in adopt the SOAR, and that is everything. We arrive at the end of the 30 minutes. Hope you appreciated the webinar. I know that the time is precious, so thank you very much for attending, and see you next time. Please contact us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Enrico.
Bye.